Welcome to the Inspectations Podcast, hosted by Justin Starbird, CEO of the Aebli Group. In business, one of the most difficult tasks a leader must do is find a way to inspect what they expect. Too often, great businesses fail or managers lose their way because they were operating based on expectations that they had not yet inspected. The Inspectations Podcast brings together business leaders from all industries to talk about best practices, innovation, leadership, and business development. You're listening to the Inspectations Podcast. Here's your host, Justin Starbird.
Welcome back to the Inspectations Podcast powered by the Aebli Group. My name is Justin Starbird, and today I get to welcome, well, now it's been 6 months we've known each other, maybe a little bit longer, 8 months, maybe even a year when we first did our first project together. But good friend, Debbie Greenway of FEIG Electronics. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin. I'm excited to be here. I don't get invited to many podcasts.
Well, it's pretty exciting to have you on. We've been working together for a while now, and it just got so many neat things that are going on. I just want to hear all about them.
Yeah, that sounds good. I listened to a few of yours on your site there. They were great.
Great. Well, thank you very much for the kind words. Well, Debbie, tell me a little bit about FEIG Electronics and what the company does.
Yeah. FEIG Electronics is, I think, a 58-year-old German company from a little town called Weilburg, about an hour outside of the Frankfurt airport. It's a pretty big company. There are 400 people there. And what they do is design and manufacture RFID products, payment products. There's a controller and a sensor division. But I work with the identification and payment. It's RFID. They have all the passive technologies, and they do all of the design right there in Weilburg, Germany, and all of them, 100% of the manufacturing as well. So I love that about it, that that it's all contained right there. If there's a problem, it can be fixed quickly. It, of course, screams quality, because the Germans, they just do everything very methodically and very carefully, and there's process upon process. So it's, as a sales organization, which is what we are here, it's wonderful, because that's just the one argument I think sales struggles with if the product doesn't perform as promised. So it's really, really great. Here in the US, we're the US version of FEIG. They only have one subsidy around the world, and that's us, FEIG Incorporated, or FEIG Electronics Incorporated. We are, I guess, would fit more under a distributor if you just look at our operations. We have a warehouse here, sales people, technical support people, and all the things that go with that, accounting, customer service, and so on. So, but we don't manufacture anything here.
Sure.
We simply resell it and work with our customers to help them use it.
Absolutely. And your role is to, herd the cats, kind of, right? So
yeah.
what is your role?
I'm FEIG Electronics Inc. I'm responsible for everything that goes on here, good and bad. So I try to keep the ledger more on the good side than the bad side, because I do take it seriously and I don't like to worry about things. It's going really well, and it was going well when I came here. Our mission is really simple. It's just to grow from a sales perspective, and to do that, though, has a lot of tentacles to work with, to get our message out there, and to get our hands on the customer, so we can show them what invisible signals look like,
right,
and how they work. Yeah.
Well, you do work not just with incredible technology, but you also are helping solve tremendous problems, issues, if you will, in a bunch of different spaces. Is it difficult to tell that story when you're in healthcare and medical, and you're in supply chain and logistics, or you're in, tolls and, reading license plates, or parking, or then, payment plans or payment options? Is it difficult to tell that story?
It really isn't. I mean, Different words are used for sure in those markets, but really the premise doesn't change much. It's all about improving efficiencies and accuracy and saving time and increasing quality, and in the healthcare market, safety, patient safety and consumer safety. So there are a lot of good stories to go in all of those markets, but at the end of the day, we're helping our customers just do more faster and more accurately with less. Yes.
That's great. Have there been any, challenges this year? Have you faced supply chain issues like others, where you're bringing, product from Germany to your clients here in the U.S.?
Yeah. Oh, yes, we have been impacted. Our impact really wasn't noticeable, I would say, until about 6 months ago. So we've withstood the what we thought was the eye of the storm, but I don't see it letting up as soon as we were hoping, about this time last year. We use microcontrollers. That's been our big problem, getting microcontrollers. They're all going to the automotive market, just like everyone else is telling you probably.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we're not a very big user. I mean, we're not using 30 million microcontrollers a year. We just need thousands or maybe tens and hundreds of thousands, but it's a small quantity for we work with the very largest suppliers in the world. So our quantities aren't that big, which is kind of a curse because that makes us less important to them, but also a blessing because they can throw me 25,000 pieces and not even notice it. Makes me happy. And, we have been paying a lot more actually for these products, but our customers have been really understanding about some price increases. For us though, right now, I would say that energy is a bigger concern right now. Because we make everything in Germany and all of the geopolitical issues that are going on with natural gas and such, getting to Germany especially is a concern. Mm-hmm. We don't have any worry about the supply. I think we have people just focused on this one thing. Yeah. And how to make sure we stay up and running, and that part is good. It's just the cost of it.
Sure.
That we are concerned about. So yeah, we would love for this war to end and for for some other things to happen. I think not just for business, of course, but for humanity.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. Man, so speaking of humanity though, one thing that you guys have done more of this year has been, more present at trade shows and conferences in person. What has that been like on the business development side, where you're, rekindling relationships that you had? And, are you seeing a lot of changes in the space, now that everybody's kind of, I wouldn't say going back to normal, but certainly, inching back to, a form of hosting a lot of events in person?
Yeah. Oh, I could probably take up a whole podcast with just the changes that I've seen. But yes, it's been wonderful. I think everyone would agree just to be able to see people again. Not only that, we went to a lot of trade shows last year, but we were all masked up. And just seeing people smile has just been, gosh, so refreshing. Yeah. And it's been good. We've made tons of new contacts. A lot of people exited, took it as a time to retire during COVID, and a lot of new people came, and so we made a lot of new contacts. So companies have grown that were not, really our types of customers before, but they are now. Other companies have changed their business models. People have changed everywhere. Just like you and I are on the video call right now. That's not new, but that is so commonplace, so commonplace. Yeah. And I can't tell you the last time I saw someone wear a tie. I mean, that used to, or even a sports coat. Honestly, it's a much more casual atmosphere, which is good because you're not focused on that anymore. I was thinking the other day when I was watching at a trade show, and there are a lot of golf shirts and nice shirts, but it seems to me that fit is the new suit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Everyone is looking very strong and very well put together because they've been working out and exercising, and it's not just a blazer and a tie that makes you look sharp anymore. I love that. I do. I love that. And yeah, all kinds of different technology. People are used to buying online now, people that weren't before. And I mean, consumer is one thing, but B2B, there have been a lot of changes to the more easier way of doing business, as far as even, talking, dressing, meeting, ordering, signing documents. Everything is just very new, and I love it. I think a lot of great things have come out of the last few years that are going to help us all, and that you just have to embrace them. And that's what I've been trying to do here, looking, making sure we have those capabilities that everyone's starting to use, and looking at some different ways to go to market, rather than the traditional electronics equipment, this particular distributor, this particular reseller. There's other ways now that people are embracing, and I think a lot of younger people are coming into the marketplace as well, and they're very electronic.
Yeah, very. Well, so you make a couple of really good points there about the changes in looking at the old guard of launching a product versus what you're doing now, the changes and in a lot of cases improvements to the quality of the trade show, the focus on having relevant topics that are there, and also making meaningful connections to the people that you do see. And FEIG has a 58-year story of quality expertise and high expectations. How do you go about sharing that story with customers and clients to really differentiate what you do?
Yeah, we try to explain to our customers that this is a very focused company. This is what we do. There are some competitors in our space that are much bigger companies than us, much bigger, multi-billion-dollar companies. We're not even $1 billion, but they do many things. And when you just take the RFID products out of their portfolio, we are much bigger than they are, all of them. We're much bigger by far than all of the people that are well known in this market. They spend a lot more marketing dollars. They put a lot more banners up, and they go to they have departments that go to trade shows, and so showing up at an RFID show is no big deal for them. It's part of what they do, and so they to the customer base, they seem much bigger than FEIG. So I spend a lot of time trying to explain that in a more professional way, but just trying to let them know that we are not some tiny little RFID company, and we are not outsourcing all of our production. We have our hands on it. We are in control of it. This is a capital expenditure purchase. You want to spend the money, install the equipment, and never look at it again. Your CapEx is done, and then your only expense are the RFID tags, which is not our business. After that, so you're basically done with the company unless you expand. Once you get your CapEx done and your equipment installed, you want to know that moment you spent with them and that money you spent on them is good and strong and solid. Yeah. And that's how I talk to people about our products. Yes.
And how do you determine, if, like a piece of content or marketing material or sales collateral, how do you determine if that's working or good? What kind of, do you go about, creating goals, or, you go to a trade show and you're like, hey, we got 100 leads, but, we're at 10, we're good, and we're talking to 5. Like, what is some of that process?
Yeah, that's well, I hired one of the best marketing agency in the US. So
you look how
I'm done.
something there.
I see where you're headed.
Yeah.
I'm a little slow, but I'm not dead. No, I really do struggle with that. I struggle a lot. And, we went to more trade shows this year already, and we still have a lot left to go than we have since I've been here. And I just crossed over the 1,000 lead mark in my log that I keep here. But I sit here and I look at it and I say, what does it mean?
Yeah.
What does it mean? And so I'm in the process right now of planning for next year and what we're going to do, and taking every one of those leads and saying, where is it in the process? Is it still a potential? Did it become an opportunity? Is it still a potential customer? This is a long design cycle. So you can't just say, well, that didn't generate a sale, so it was a bad lead. You can't do that here. And so really trying to do a deep dive and analysis, which you'll be definitely getting a few spreadsheets from me soon to get your opinions on.
Well, and to that degree, I mean, we do feel fortunate here at TAG to have the opportunity to work with you and help create systems and processes that will define that more quickly and efficiently. What has it been like working with parts of the TAG team on some of these projects and defining what the objectives are, and even making sure that we're on brand with messaging and content?
It's been just so far, a great experience. I think, we're nowhere near where we want to be, both you and I. But we talk all the time openly and honestly, and I feel like I mean, I'm running marketing here in the US and doing a lot of other things. And I did minor in marketing in college, but that was a ways ago. And I don't feel qualified, to make these. I look and I see, all right, this worked, this didn't work, and mostly it didn't work so far. But I feel like finally I can breathe. It's like a breath of fresh air. I have experts on my side, that I had an agency before, and it was just more of just do these things and, charge the charge, and, and they weren't bad things, but weren't making progress. And I feel now I can be like, hey, what about this thing I just saw? What do you guys think? What's your opinion? Hey, do you have experience in this? Do you know what should a trade show generate for me? Yeah. And just knowing that I have a team of experts who either know the answers right off the top of their heads or really truly will. You guys went over all our competitors' websites and came back to me with just a beautiful showing of what's doing well and what kind of results you can find from where you are. And just little things like that. I think we will go through all these things, and we will. I just feel confident we're going to get to the right solutions.
Yeah, I think we're at the beginning stages. It's still in the infancy of where things are, and one of the things I know that I'm interviewing you, but I think one of the coolest parts about all this is being able to take the history, the dedication to craftsmanship, and really the stories that make FEIG so unique, and putting them out there to make it evident quickly that FEIG is not a beginner in this space, and it's not a small company, and there is expertise and experience that helps solve some really complex problems in areas that are facing a bunch of industries right now. And not that you're the missing piece, but you're the piece that can make it better for them.
Yeah. I appreciate that, and I love that you got that from the conversations we've had. That is exactly what we're trying to do, and I think it's just that simple. We make RFID products, and we want to explain to people how that can help them and why FEIG is a good choice once you decide that technology is a good fit for you. Yeah, so it's a lot to tell people. Some people are further along the line than others. But surely when we go to shows and people come by and they're like, what is this RFID I keep hearing about? What does it do? And some of those are really potential customers and have turned into customers. So you do spend a lot of time having that conversation.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So what's next for FEIG Electronics?
I mean, for us, it's quite, I try to my pastor always says this: the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And for us, the main thing is sales growth. And I just now realized you should definitely use that given your location.
Thank you. We'll add, after this interview, I tell people transcribe it, we turn it into articles, but we also look for some fun pieces, and that'll get out of there.
So what we're trying to do here is just grow, and that for us, I think now that we've been through a lot of different channels and a lot of different trials of ways to win out there in the world, I think growing our partner base is absolutely the very next step for us. And I've there's been some struggles with that. I kind of innately knew that when I first got here, but there are some programs and some things going on in the market that had prevented that. I fully understand all that better now, and I think I have the right way to get into the bit. We have been growing our partnerships. Don't get me wrong, but I need the big guys. And they need me, not me, FEIG. And there's some. Go ahead.
I said that, and they need you too.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I hope so. Like, I hope I do add value, and I hope that, when I take someone's time and have a conversation or a meeting with them, that, they walk away feeling like they got something from it. So yeah, I hope that is how it goes. But I also, I want to expand the customer base. I know that's a cliche, but I don't mean I want more customers. I mean, I want to get into, well, I do want more customers, and I want to get into other types of customers that we haven't worked with before. Some huge channel partners and some enterprise type of companies that we haven't been able to, or even tried to penetrate before. So I think these are the next steps for FEIG, along with our innovation in our factory, and they're very good about taking feedback from the market about what people like. Mm-hmm. My CEO is coming over here in a couple of weeks, and I'm getting ready for him. And part of my presentation is here's some projects at customers that we won this year, and that will be generating revenue shortly. And I know he will ask me, why did they choose FEIG? He's very interested in this, and because he wants to know, and he also wants to know why someone chose someone else. So we know all that, we try to ask those questions, important to us too, but just getting it all together is what I'm working on right now.
It's great. Well, Debbie, thank you so much for joining me today and being part of the podcast. It's so cool to hear some insight from you on what's going on in the market, what you're working on, and what's coming for FEIG.
Thank you, Justin. You always listen to me, and that's great. And hopefully I won't do all the talking next time we chat.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
You've been listening to the latest episode of the Inspectations podcast powered by the Aebli Group. On behalf of my guest, Debbie Greenway and FEIG Electronics, until next time.
You have been listening to the Inspectations podcast. On behalf of your host, Justin Starbird, and our guests today, thank you for listening. To learn more about the Inspectations podcast, our guest, or the Aebli Group, please visit us at www.aebligroup.com. Be sure to keep inspecting what you are expecting.